them.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto. My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Give it away now. That's it. It's episode 131, issue 131 of Two Fat Guys Plus. Let's welcome everyone to the shot it. What's it? You know, we got a really good, I don't know, really good show. I'm not quite sure, but before we even get to that, we're gonna get into the business, and then we'll just jump right into it. So the business. Let's first talk about our show's sponsor, and that is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. They are an awesome comic book shop here. They have 2 locations, soon to be 3. One in Irving.
I know, it's crazy.
Disciple, the beard is gone. What? But the stash remains. Anyway, I got this Ted Lasso stash I'm keeping for a minute. Anyway, yeah, Collected Comics and Games. You got 2 locations, one in Fort Worth and one in Keller, and then we have one that's about to open in Irving. So if you're in the DFW area, make sure to check out Collected Comics and Games at their 2 current locations, and then one in Irving, which will be opening very soon. Also, Collected Comics and Games has a website called brainycomics.com. We'd love for you to go over to brainycomics.com and check it out. If you go over there, you can see that you can go over there and order some cool stuff online, get exclusive and variant covers, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards, guys. So head on over to brainycomics.com, do a little bit of shopping, if you will, get a little bit of extra cash, and then before you leave, before you put everything in your cart and you're like, you know what, I'm about to check out, before you do that, we'd love for you to go over to that search bar, type in Two Fat Guys Plus, click, press enter, and when you press enter, this pops up. It's our Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade and premium upgrades. You're probably asking yourself, what are those? Well, if you put the upgrade in your cart for $8, you get 1 mystery exclusive variant cover of a comic. If you do the premium for $15, you get 2. Now, these comic covers look pretty sick. If you go back over to the front page, we've got some of them right here. We've got this Immoral X-Men #1 with Emma Frost on the cover. You got Strange Academy with Magic on the cover. You got Gwen over here on Amazing Spider-Man issue number 20. You've got World Tree and Power Rangers. There's a ton. There's a massive backlog. Go to that exclusive and variant cover tab and check that out. And you can see all of the mystery or all the exclusive and variant covers that you could potentially get when you put that upgrade in your cart. Now, when you do it, I'm not saying you're guaranteed to get this Immoral X-Men #1 with Emma Frost on the cover. I'm not saying that you will. You could. But Ron, I will say, does definitely like to match themes, right? He likes to go off of what's in your cart. So there's a good chance you could get a cover like that or that cover specifically if you got a lot of X-Men in your cart, or you got a lot of Spider-Man, you might get a Spider-Man cover. If you got a lot of Independence, maybe you get that World Tree, or maybe you get something else. But we would love for you to head over to brainycomics.com, do a little bit of shopping, then put that mystery, the Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade or premium upgrade in your cart, check out, and then when your stuff comes in the mail, right? When that stuff comes in the mail, take a picture of it and send it to us and tag us and let us know what you got, because we'd love to know. So that's the first part of the business. The other thing we got to talk about is our milestone giveaway. We're on the road to 850 subscribers, and when we do, you know the drill. We're giving away this Green Lantern #1 at 9.8 graded from CBCS, a retail incentive cover with Jon Stewart. An amazing cover. We will be giving this away when we hit 850 subscribers, but we cannot do it unless you hit that subscribe button. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It would be much appreciated so we can hit that number and then get on to giving away something at 950 subscribers. And then only after that, when we hit when we hit 950, and then we only need 50 more, which I would assume we'd hit fairly quickly, we're giving away this, guys.
Oh.
This Amazing Spider-Man #4 Original Sin tie-in, the first appearance of Silk. Thank you, Calvin, for the nice stash comment. I really like it. My wife does not. Anyway, we will be giving this away when we hit 1,000. So let's please hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. If you are subscribed and you haven't liked this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're subscribed and you've already hit the like button, but you haven't rang that bell so you never miss any Two Fat Guys Pools content. You're always in the know. Okay. Let's talk about this week. So, before the show, we kind of always go through a little bit of a rundown, and we kind of gave each other our scores or our grades for the week. And I think it was a solid, I'd give it a solid B+ in my opinion.
Yeah, I would.
Solid B+. It wasn't bad, but there was nothing that was just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Now, were there things that happened this week that were like, that's some heavy shit? Yeah, for sure. Some long time coming shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of stuff in here that we've been waiting for, whether it's been 5 years or it's been, ever since we got into comics, or, there's been a lot going on in here. So we will get to all that goodness, but chat, what's up? John, Disciple, Calvin, how are y'all? What are you? How are y'all doing? I'm glad y'all are here. Let's start the show. And we're always going to kick it off with our first comic of the week, and it's one of these weeks where we start the show with hitting the button. What the heck?
The button's broken.
Oh no! Hold on, guys. My hotkey is not working.
Professional.
This is a professional show, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Professional show. Let's see. Guess I should have tested that. I got everything else set, but I didn't get this set. All right, pull list. We do that. Do that. Okay, it goes there. So, and then the hotkey. There it is. All right, cool.
Ooh.
I don't know. Need a little bit of reboot. Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 25. I know there are. Hold on. There's a lot of talk going on, if you still use the platform Twitter, with this issue. There are a lot of people that are upset with the current storyline, which I can't blame them for.
I mean, I can.
Well, why are you upset? What are you upset about this issue?
Upset about it?
Yeah. Because there are people that are upset.
Let me put it this way.
Okay, go ahead.
I am smart enough to realize to not put enough energy into Spider-Man to be upset by this issue.
Okay. This is fine.
And that's why,
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a character I cared about and
Right.
thought was actually a good character that had been written well in the past 30 years, then I might be upset. But I mean, what does anyone like? If there was a single person out there that thought this book wasn't going exactly the way it did, you have not paid attention to Spider-Man since the year 2000. Right?
Right. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not upset about it. I think it's a big waste of poo-poo time. I will say that. Like, I just don't. Let's say it this way. I know that people are upset that Peter and MJ are not together. There are people that are genuinely upset about that, right? And this issue squashes any hope that that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't care. Whatever happened to MJ? Yeah, did we get the answer? Yes. Did I give a shit? No, I didn't care. I mean, it literally answered it, but once it answered it, I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
I felt like that was sort of like what we got already. Like it just seemed like that was where we were going so obviously that I just wasn't really shocked by it.
Right. Yeah.
And I would say the thing that was the most surprising. So just real quick, if you're not reading Amazing Spider-Man, obviously we find out that even though Peter was gone hardly at all, in his time, in Mary Jane's time, he was gone 4 years, and they found these two kids that had been left. They're not like they're biological children, but
yeah, they
found these two children, and they started a family and started living together. And when Peter rescues them and gets them back to the proper timeline, she basically says, "Nah, I've been through too much shit with him. I'm not gonna leave him." Which I do get the irony of it, or not the irony, but I do get why people are upset, because clearly MJ and Spider-Man have been through, and Peter have been through so much more, I feel like, than what they went through just in those 4 years. But hey,
Right.
Again, I knew we weren't going to. And at this point, who do we blame? Like, is it Nick Lowe, the editor of the Spider-Man books? Like, do we blame that weird fat ugly guy that pretended to be Japanese?
Yes. 100%.
Like,
That's
what is
the answer.
Polsky?
Yeah, that's the
like
answer.
at this point, I don't know.
Well, okay, so if we get to chat here, John says, I actually like parts of this issue, but I was annoyed that their kids were random orphans that just happened to look like her, whatever, what's his face?
Paul, yeah.
Paul, yes. That whole bit just feels like a mechanic to throw away when Marvel resets, right? When Hickman gets to do his invasion of the Ultimate Universe and everything resets, they're just a poof, go away. Right, and MJ is going to get reset. Whatever, we know that's coming.
Yeah.
Disciple says, "Yeah, I'm one of those Peter MJ people. No desire to read this. I think John Romita is way past his prime. True, and I'm very surprised y'all haven't dropped this yet. I was gonna drop it, right, but then we're not gonna get Romita here coming up, and I'm actually quite excited for the next couple of issues that are coming, because it looks like we're gonna get. It would appear that we're going to be getting, Black Cat and Parker kind of teaming up and doing their own thing for a couple issues, which that's going to take us back to this issue, which is, I will say, the one effective thing about this book that happened this week in this book was my commitment to feeling bad for Peter, right? Mm-hmm. Because my sweet spot is slice of life, right? And I want Peter to be happy, and it's almost kind of like you're living vicariously through him, and you want him to get the girl. And when MJ's like, "I ain't going with you," I was like, "Man, that sucks." Like, am I upset that he's not with MJ? Not really. I get it. I understand why people are upset that they're not together, or that they're upset that they aren't and they want them to be. But for me, it's like, but I just want Peter to be happy. Like that's where I'm at. Like, I want him to get the girl, and the fact that Black Cat is just waiting there in the wings for him just makes me giddy, right? Just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that he gets to have the girl. Oh, and it's kind of like getting to eat his cake too, because he can go out and fight crime, right? He can experience both parts of his life with Black Cat. Now, will that work? Probably not. That's how it works, because at the end of the day, he probably will be back with MJ no matter what. That's going to be the thing. And again, when the Ultimate happens and inevitably resets the entire Marvel universe, and we get our first or second or whatever you want to call it big reboot for Marvel, then they'll be back together. Yes, and John Romita is done. Like, it's over. And here's the thing that really grinds my gears, right? How much was this issue? $6.99, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, you're gonna, well, sure, but you're gonna tell me that with your poo-poo ass style, you can't do all the pages?
Well, no, they did that on purpose.
I don't care.
I do, because I actually found, I was just about to say that I actually found a lot of enjoyment out of this issue because of the first half of letting a good artist go ham and write almost an Elseworld style MJ, because like we got this shit and like that's fucking badass.
Yeah. No.
Right?
I didn't explain myself.
Okay.
I thought, don't get me wrong, I loved seeing the other artwork, right? Mm-hmm. But this whole fucking Spider-Man run has been John Romita Jr. is back doing Spider-Man, right? Yeah. And then you can't fucking do the book. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's a little frustrating, even though I hate it. Hate's a strong word. I dislike his artwork very much. And so when you cram it down my throat for 24 issues, now he wasn't in every issue, but for the amount of issues he's on, and then suddenly, oh no, I can't. Nah, dude. Like,
It wasn't. I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think it was because they.
I'm misplacing this. I'm doing it because
clearly
you know
are.
why I'm doing it? Because every time he draws Peter's face, it looks like he has a fucking tumor coming out of his head, and I'm tired of it. My argument makes no sense, okay? But I'm mad.
Did you read the little backup with
No,
Felicia?
I just saw that she was there, and I was like, oh, good, that makes me feel good.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, it was very cute. I liked it. He went
Let's
to a wedding, and he of course, had to go save somebody, and he missed all the dancing.
right, but then Felicia's like, "Come here, tiger," and we're like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Calvin. I have a weird obsession with breaking them up. Okay, they got it. Retcon this is Mephisto
They
messing
have a
with
weird
them.
obsession.
Oh, they have. Sorry.
Not him.
Yeah, Retcon this is Mephisto messing with them. Calvin, this happens over and over. They need to let it go. Disciple, Calvin, but that wouldn't Mephisto messing things up be lazy Spider-Man retcon? Yes, it would. They already pulled this card with renew their vows. Yeah, I mean, but you know what's coming. I actually have loved Black Cat since McKay's run. I'm actually cool with Spidey, Felicia Time. I love it. I freaking love it. Joe, hey guys, on my piss break at work, picking up extra shift on Sunday nights. I'll catch the replay tomorrow. I'd be back in June. All right, Joe, it's all good. You do you, boo.
Cash.
Yeah, man, get that money, get peed. Anyway, there was an aspect. There was a $1.99 of a book here that I actually liked, and then everything else, I was like, I don't care. And yeah, we'll see where this next arc takes us with the new artwork. We got a little bit of it in the free comic book day that we got, which I still haven't read. And
it's Ed McGuinness. He did some of the Inferno issues. I can't remember what that event was actually called, but he did some of those, and I really like Ed McGuinness. Dark Web, yes, thank you. I like Ed McGuinness on Spidey, so I actually was a hard no on that arc when I first heard about it because I'm actually not a big Doc Ock fan as a villain, and so I was like, but when I saw his covers for it and that he was also doing the interiors, I was like, damn it, all right. And then they just announced what's coming after that arc is, and you're gonna love this. Oh, you're gonna love this.
Oh yeah.
Issue I think 30, which is August issue.
Super oversized
$9.99 wedding issue because Tombstone's daughter and Peter's friend are getting married, and it's like I gotta read it to you because at this point it's not gonna work if I don't read it.
I think I'm done. I think you've just put the nail in the coffin.
No, see, for me, I'm finally intrigued because it's the Tombstone story is what I care about.
All right,
Special oversized issue. It's the wedding of the year. Peter Parker is the best man, and Tombstone is walking the bride down the aisle. This story sets up. Oh, yeah, you're gonna love this even more. This story sets up our big next Spider event of Zeb and Johnny's second year on ASM.
I'm out.
And that's just the half of it. Also in this issue, Bachelor and Bachelorette parties, other ASM story preludes, and glimpses of some of the biggest unannounced Spider projects with extra bonus awesomeness. So not only is it a $10 issue, it's gonna have like 5 different writers and 6 different artists, but we also just got confirmation that Zeb Wells and JSM are John Romita Jr. are
on for a second
for a second year. A new event is already being planned. Then we've got even more unannounced stuff that's going to be coming out.
I'm done. Marvel, I mean, I'm going to read the next arc because it does look like fun, but I'm done. Like, if Romita's on it, I'm out. I'm sorry.
Yes, Disciple, second year. All right, let's move on because we actually got good things to talk about.
I don't know why my buttons aren't working. What's going on here, dudes? Is it because I keep on doing this? Is this it? Is that what it is? Here, let me do this. So let's try to fix this. Maybe that's what it is. Get out of here. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So we're not going to do that again. All right. Captain Marvel, issue number 49. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I will say I was a little. The second year, I was a little disappointed though at how it kind of resolved.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I have mixed emotions about it. I like the book. Overall, I liked it. Okay, I liked Carol just like going Super Saiyan 8 or whatever and about to explode, like literally blow up. But it felt like the climax of the book happened off screen.
What do you mean?
So when she's taking on the Brood Queen and you're like, that's all kind of happening in the background, right?
Yeah,
and I understand why, because there's a lot of history between some of these other characters who are trying to connect with Carol. I get that. Like the rogue thing I thought was really powerful, and seeing her, kind of try to redeem herself in Carol's eyes, whether it was spoken or not, was really cool. I did like that, but I wanted to see more. Like we got a little bit of the psychedelic aspect of her, when she was in the brood mind, hive mind.
Yeah,
we got a little bit of that at the beginning of the issue, but then it kind of just went away, right? So when we finally catch up with Carol, when she's nova bombing everything and just turning on the sun essentially, we didn't really see a lot of it, and so it was more like connecting to the emotion, which I am not against. I'm not saying this book sucks because we got in touch with our feelings. No, I like that. I liked it, but I just wish we had gotten to see a little bit more action with Carol unleashing all of this energy prior to Rogue saving the day, essentially.
Yeah,
I liked it though.
No, I totally get that, and I agree. Because it kind of felt like we did get one really awesome, like 3/4 or 2/3, however you want to say, like splash page of fighting. But other than that, it wasn't really a lot.
No.
And as a matter of fact, we didn't know the Brood Queen was dead until Rogue goes up there and says, "It's okay, she's already dead." And we're like, "Wait, is she? She kind of looks like she's like screaming in pain, but she doesn't look obviously dead to me." So I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I will say, I give Kelly Thompson credit for trying to fit in as much as she can as far as like Carol lore. And
right.
I do like the sort of rogue thing. It did feel a little shoehorned though. Like it didn't feel like it fit perfectly. It just, but I know I'm being nitpicky.
I get that too. Like I understand that. Like I get what you're saying there, but I would have been, knowing my limited history of the character, but knowing that they have crossed paths obviously with their origins. If it hadn't been in there, I think I would have been like, hey, what the fuck, But I see what you're saying. Like it probably could have been done a little bit. Like the build up to that could have been a little bit more.
I felt like it just being mentioned in this issue only and not being mentioned in, or more obvious, I guess, because I guess it was kind of alluded to a little bit, but like,
right. Yeah, I understand.
I still think it's good, and I would say the most intriguing part of this issue is the very end when they go in very binary.
Yeah.
On essentially the planet Marvel. Just knocked over every one of my books.
Nice.
But I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do. If they're gonna do anything with that, like if Kelly's gonna do something with that, or if she's just gonna
hand it off.
Like, I'm gonna leave this here if someone wants to do something with that.
Oh, I'm sure someone's already I'm sure someone's already picked up something. That's a given. But yeah, overall, I liked the issue. I thought it was a lot of fun. John says, "Poor Jim. I feel your pain, Spidey pain, man." Yeah, dude, Spider-Man's the best, and like he's just not been taken care of for like 5 years.
5 years.
It's happening again. What is going on? Okay, there's it's buggy, so bear with me, chat. I'm gonna have to turn this on and off again. It stinks. I'm sorry. Maybe I need to check my hotkeys really quick.
Maybe they're cold right now.
Maybe I got some cold keys. All right, let's see. Hotkeys.
Cold keys.
Got some cold keys, damn it. Markers. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for next week pull list. Yeah. What? Scenes. Sources. Pull list. Yeah, number 1 and 2. Let's take it off, and then we'll just do 1. We'll take that off. We'll do it. Turn it on and off again, right?
We'll do it
Done.
live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. All right, there we go.
There you go.
Cosmic Ghost Rider. We'll see if it works though. Versus Valkyrie. I'm having a really fun time with this book. Is it what I thought it was going to be? No. Am I still enjoying it? Yes. And to have one of my other favorite characters, Valkyrie, show up in this book is fucking awesome. And to see her in a no bullshit kind of attitude was really cool. Like, she essentially gets duped by this, don't know if it's a futuristic Ghost Rider, or a Ghost Rider from the future or the past, who knows. But she gets duped by this Ghost Rider, almost takes it out. Then he flips, he leaves. She thinks it's Frank Castle, which it might be. And then our present Frank Castle shows up, and she almost takes his head off. Like, she's like, "Oh, you're back again for some more, huh?" Yeah, and he's like, "Not me, not me." And so there is a mystery, and apparently these two are sharing powers, because at the end of the issue, they both get drained. They both, essentially faint. So there's a big mystery. But to see there be a fight between Valkyrie and Ghost Rider was really cool. That's really this issue in a nutshell. I'm digging it. I think Stephanie Phillips is doing a great job. I think, she's doing what she wants to do with the character, and I think she's doing it well. So is it my pick of the week? No. Was it a silly goose time? 100%. So am I going to continue to read it? Yeah, for sure.
We like silly goose times.
That's about it. No, this shit's broken. Something is wrong. So every time I have to do this every time. This sucks. I don't know what's going on, guys. My computer's broken. All right, let's get over here.
Boop, beep, boop, bop.
All right, Daredevil issue number 11. Fuck.
I already know you didn't read the backup in this one, right?
No, I wasn't even bothered. Well, okay, look, man, you can't go from Daredevil literally taking out his eyeballs,
Yo,
and then sticking one of them in another dude's face and being like, "I'll be back, bitch." Like, that's basically this issue in a nutshell.
Yeah. This issue was really intense.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was surprised at how intense this issue was. I really liked that Cole is sort of, now that he's back in the real world, he's sort of walking the walk.
Yeah.
Quitting being a detective and just saying yo, the system's so fucked that I can't even even fighting it from the inside isn't good enough. You know
right.
what I mean? I liked that. He was being a part of it is too tainted, which I tend to agree with.
Yeah.
But also him sort of kicking Daredevil in the ass and making him get out. Stop throwing a pity party for himself. I thought it was really good. I thought this was a really good character book for Cole, and he's one of my favorite additions.
Yeah.
That Zdarsky's added.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that, all of that. And then I also like just seeing Matt, enough's enough. Enough is enough. And seeing, going to that extreme, pretty damn cool. And Patty, everyone's having a great. I think are we having a great week? You having a great week? I'm having a great week.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's a great week there. Oh yeah. Anyway, sorry, Patty. Anyway, gotta go out with my goat on a boat. Anyway,
okay, please.
Please. Daredevil, great. It's just bittersweet because we know this run is coming to an end, and I think what I like, and I'm sure it's a red herring, but I like that Chip is like, oh, you think Elektra is gonna be the one to die, but it's gonna be Matt. And
I don't think it's gonna be the one.
But it's not gonna be Matt. It's gonna be Elektra.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like the aspect of. It feels like to me, Chip Zdarsky was, when he was doing this issue, was almost like, all right, by the time we get here, everyone's gonna know that the book's been not canceled, but the end has been announced, and
Right.
they're gonna kind of see where they feel like they know where this is going. And he's like, I
Right.
got to do something that just shows them like they do not know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or don't know how far I'm willing to go, because I just like, I mean, did we just like, I mean, did we literally pull his eyeballs out, or did I like miss some?
No, he pulled his eyeballs
Not
out,
his
and like
eyeballs.
now that you've read it and you look at this cover, it just makes it that much worse. You know, like
Yeah.
I know where those are going. You know, like shit.
So, I mean, we literally just permanently maimed Matt Murdock for like in 20 years from now, when Joe Blow Jr.'s writing Daredevil, the dude's gonna not just be blind but literally have no eyeballs still.
Well, again, remember, there's a reset that's about to happen. We all know it's coming, and so suddenly, like, if anything,
sure, but it's not a literal like.
we're gonna get
reset.
it. Well, we don't know that, but I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna calling it right now. When the reset happens, which you're saying it's not, it's gonna happen, but when the reset happens, Matt Murdock is gonna get his eyes back, right? Not only is he gonna get his eyes back, but he's gonna get his sight back too.
Okay, now you're just being silly, just because you want to be goofy. Are you mean when you say reset, you mean because a new Daredevil writer, or are you talking about this
May
Hickman shit?
14th. You heard it here. When Hickman resets the Marvel Universe, Daredevil will get his eyes back. Not only will he get his eyes back, but he will get his vision back too.
Wow, that's okay.
And then the title of the book will be The All-Seeing Daredevil.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's going to happen. I don't think there will be a reset. This isn't DC. Watch it happen. Watch it happen.
It's not happening.
Hey, my button worked. All right. The Invincible Iron Man issue number 6. I know I liked it. Just to get it off the bat, I liked it. I think Gary Jerry is on a roll, and I liked this kind of, almost one shot yet still taught, understand the past to know what's going to happen in the present, essentially is what we got here. And I really liked it. I liked seeing the Silver Centurion suit. I love that suit. It's my favorite Iron Man suit. I liked seeing freaking Tigra in this issue. I liked seeing the West Coast event. Almost made me want a West Coast Avengers book. Like almost like, hey, let's just do it. Let's just get the band back together. Let's have a silly goose time. Moon Knight's kicking ass over here. Why not? Why not have a West Coast Avengers after Iron Man's done? That's really where this helped. That's where this got me, essentially. I think Gary Jerry's on a roll. I had a lot of fun with it, and seeing, I think he did a good job of, I don't want to say retconning, but just saying like, all right, we're going to take a step back into the past. And we've seen this done before. I mean, look at Jason Aaron, but he did it over like 20 issues, and it was really fucking annoying. Whereas Gary Jerry's like, here's one issue, here's the bow on top, boom, have fun.
Yeah.
And I thought it was good.
Yeah, Joe, when you're watching this in a replay, make sure you leave us a comment on opinions, because I feel like this issue was written for Joe, or like readers like Joe, people that are just all in on Iron Man. I feel like this scratched not my itch because it didn't exist, but scratches the itch of people that like the old school 80s Iron Man stuff. Bringing back the look, the Tony look, he's my butler or my bodyguard guy, and
right,
silly shit. I thought that was executed very well, especially for me to enjoy the issue when I want for any of that stuff. And tying it into what's still going on, because man, if it had nothing to do with it, I probably still
right.
A little frustrated, but no, good issue.
It was a good issue. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really liked the artwork too. DeVito is, I think he's starting to establish himself into the house. I think a little bit. Like, I think
he's very house style, no doubt.
Yeah, I liked it. All right, let's talk about X-Men Red issue number 11 from Al Ewing. Am I pushing this button?
Yeah.
Is this happening? Like, we haven't done this in a long time.
It's been a while, but go ahead.
That's the guy.
This is the guy's pick of the week. Yeah, this was really good. I would almost say unexpected, yet fitting.
Very fitting, yeah. Only unexpected because I felt like Storm got to have her say in a lot of ways last week. In Immortal.
Yeah.
But the fact that we got 2 straight weeks of Storm just flopping it on the table and then just saying again, "Oh, did you miss it? Because here it is." Like,
yeah, thunk.
I was just, and I've always, not always, but as someone who started their X-Men journey at the beginning, I still just have like the main picture of these characters I have in my head are the Claremont versions of them. And so because all I have essentially read is X-Men 1 through 1, like in the 90s,
right?
And then so anyway from 1990 to House of X is pretty much I don't know it. And so getting to see Storm finally getting her say, Professor X getting his comeuppance for being such a shitty dude.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Well, and again, I think, and who knows, right? Who knows really what's going to happen with this fall of X? But it almost feels like this is the fall of X, right? And it's really the fall of Xavier, like to the point where Xavier might be the next villain for the X-Men. Like, just gonna throw that out there. I know I'm going crazy over here with Matt Murdock, but I'm just saying, like, there's a possibility here, because he's losing everything, and he's losing the respect from his most trusted, people. And for Storm to be like, "Nah, bitch, I'm out," like, you done fucked up, man. Like, I was trying to have a nice meal with my dude, probably was gonna have my way. And then you had to come up and be like, Psycho could be like, "Yo, I need you," and you're like, "Oh, bitch," right? So I thought it was good, and I think it says something when Storm is the focus for 2 solid weeks, almost 3, and I just love it. I love seeing her just command the room. I loved her essentially telling Xavier, like, "Look, you told me that I was just a mutant, but I'm so much more." When and it even happened in Scarlet Witch when Scarlet was telling Storm, like, "Hey, you're a god. You are a witch, and you are you're more than just a mutant." And she's fully growing into this, and I really like where we're headed. Right, we are finally coming back to Apocalypse and his horsemen. His original horseman, and we're coming back to Genesis showing up and being like,
"Well, that's not his original horseman."
Well,
his original Hoxpox horseman.
Well, Hoxpox, yes, which has been retconned and saying like back in the day.
I get what you. Okay, I get what
you see what I'm saying. Okay, so and then we get a character that was established in the Sins of Sinister, and now he's back, and he's actually he is the last remaining soldier of the White Sword, right? Who, again, we are getting deep into, where's Empire? Because apparently he's no longer here. Like, he's not here tonight. But we're jumping back into some Hickman shit, right? We're jumping back into Ten of Swords.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. I love that I know that, and there's probably some readers who are like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" Right. Sorry, I'm cussing a lot tonight, but it just got me that excited.
No, this issue was. It felt like
it was fire.
Once again. Al Ewing with not presumably the cornerstone book, like a book that people could easily be missing, right? Just because they're like, "Oh, I'm only going to follow the main book," putting out and showing why his book will always be the main book, no matter what.
Yeah.
And this is
there's a constant it's between Gillen. I think it's between Gillen and Ewing, right?
Yeah, but Gillen has obviously been the leader of X now for a while. When the dude is given 2 events back to back in 6 months,
yeah,
no one's questioning that Gillen is the leader of X right now. But also kind of not.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's not doing the most or even being the what's the guy that stands in front of the orchestra?
Conductor.
The conductor of it all, but like Al Ewing's going, yeah, I got you, buddy. And then he's just like over here by himself, just like
Yeah.
playing 10 instruments at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I as much as it pains me to give an X-Men book a pick of the week.
Wow, that's
Maybe we're
Jesus.
back at it. Maybe we're back at it.
Shut up, John.
Spurrier is in the corner writing his
Yeah,
own symphony in an instrument that doesn't exist, that we all don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because it's on a different plane of metaphysical hearing.
Right. So what Nate just said was, and this is for the music nerds out there, which I don't know if there are any of you here. Cy Spurrier is basically Miss Lanka. If you've ever heard a piece by Miss Lanka, it is. I played it. I played it in college. I played one of his pieces. Never heard of him. He played. He created this one piece that was just. It was basically a concept of a dream, and it was.
Oh, Lord.
Out there, dude, and that's Cy Spurrier. Like you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. He's playing 15 different instruments, and one of them we don't even know what it is because it's he made it. He made it up. He's like, this is a fliggenflagen. You're like, what? You know, like that's what it sounds like. So,
oh man.
All right, let's jump over to DC with Green Lantern issue number 1, back on Earth, back in action. You know,
before we get into it,
good.
Red herring.
Oh, for sure. He's literally there in name.
Yeah.
I liked it. When I bought the book, I asked Lee, I was like, Lee, does this have any in structure? Does it have any semblance to Green Arrow? You know, Green Arrow felt really good. It felt genuine for new readers, and I'm sure it was okay for old readers. And she was like, yes. I was like, okay, cool, I'll buy it. And I got it. And I like Green Lantern. He's one of my favorite DC heroes. Specifically Hal. Like I like Hal. He is one of my favorites. And I thought it was a good issue. I'm intrigued. I'm on issue 2. I liked the backup. I read it because it's Jon Stewart and it's Philip Kennedy Johnson writing the book. I thought it was good. I think we have a solid Green Lantern book here. The only thing that will derail this, and it's notoriously, DC is notorious for this, is we're going to get 2, 3, maybe even 4 issues in, and then suddenly we have an artist change, and it won't even match the level of the writing. And that's what's going to kill this book for me. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
I don't know about that. I mean, that's going to happen for sure, but hopefully that doesn't kill the book.
I hope not, but I'm just trying to be brutally honest.
I enjoyed the book too. I will say that, and I'm curious if any of you longtime DC readers, Calvin, Jaden, if you guys that have like been around the block, tell me what you thought, because this very much felt like a rehash of like Rebirth, or like Jeff Johns, the beginning of his run. Like it felt very, very, very similar to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, because that's a good place for people to start, but it's just like, well, just start there then. Like, let's do something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was much, much, much more excited by what we've got going on in the backup. Not only, of course, as a Philip Kennedy Johnson, one of my favorite writers right now, but we're doing some alternate dimension, other universe, man bun, Guy Gardner stuff. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. No, I overall was very pleased with it, and I will be picking up issue number 2. And I you don't need to apologize if it ain't you, it ain't you, boo. Like, just that's all right. That's fine. That's totally fine. But I like it. I will say, I want to have the feeling I had when I was reading Blackest Night. I want there to be this convergence of multiple cores, multiple characters really getting involved, and almost, that was the coolest thing. Like when it was the Sinestro Wars going into Blackest Night, like that was cool seeing like mainstay DC characters getting involved. Like I want to see something of that. I'm not saying exactly. I'm ready for that to happen again. I'm ready for that to be I'm ready for the Lanterns and all the Corps to be involved tremendously within a big DC event, rather than, oh no, we're resetting it again because we fired half of our creative writers and staff and we got to do something different. Like, I'm ready for that to be over, because that's happened. Like, I know it's only happened like twice in the past however many years we've been doing this now, like 3 years, 4 years. But it just feels like every year it's like, oh yeah, remember this event? Well, it doesn't matter anymore because we're doing this now. Oh yeah, remember this event? It doesn't really matter anymore because we're doing this now. Like, let's establish a lore, and I want there to be a big core, Lantern core event. I think it would be really fun.
I will have to say that I'm already starting to second guess myself a little bit. Not on the quality of the book, because I thought it was ish to begin with, but one of the things that I was really looking forward to with this book was the possibility of including my Green Lantern, and then I realized that we've sort of turned off the Green Lantern Corps, and everyone was told to, like, that Earth is like quarantined, and so now I'm really worried that she's like going to be off.
Well, just give it time, dude.
Somewhere else. Well, it's just with Hal really is the worst person for us to be focusing on. It really is the worst of all the Lanterns.
I can't argue with you, but I mean, that's where we're at.
What if, guys? What if we did a 5-issue arc of Hal, and then we kill the motherfucker, and we do a 5-issue arc of what's the redhead's name? Guy Gardner. Then we kill that motherfucker. Then we do a 5-issue run of Kyle Rayner, and he stays alive because he's cool.
Oh, okay.
And then
I like this.
We put Joe on the book, and it's her book forever. Okay. And there's no Green Lantern book for the rest of all time that's anything but Joe.
Hal is the Cyclops of Green Lanterns.
Oh no! Oh.
And Calvin likes Cyclops, though.
Oh no! I don't know if I could read this book ever again.
Shut up! All right, let's move on before you just. All right, next up we have Spirit World issue number 1. This is a new initiative from DC. I'm just quick run. I think it's cool. I read it. Issue 2 will be a game time decision for me, because I didn't read this character's origins, which were in Lazarus Planet, which I was just like. But I like this new character. I think they are awesome. I think their ability is really cool. Manifesting items out of paper, really kick ass. And Constantine's in the book. I thought that was fun. So,
interesting.
I think Nate should write Green Lantern.
Got good ideas.
Either way, Spirit World was fun, but I don't know if it was fun enough for me to go ahead and pick up issue 2. It will be a game time decision, but artwork was fantastic. Yes. The artwork is good. I think the flow of the comic went really well. At that one point was I'm lost in the sauce. I was with it throughout the entirety of it. It's a new book, and I wanted to give it a shot. But issue 2 will be a game time decision. It really just will depend on what week it falls on and how many books I'm really picking up. So if you're looking for something fun and interesting and a new character, check out Spirit World. I think it's definitely worth a read, and to see if you want to continue to read it or not. But there's that. All right, let's jump over to our independent comics, and we're going to kick it off with Boom Studios Ghost Lore issue number 1. So I did not have this on my pool. It was on your pool.
It was,
and I was like, you know what? It is a Boom number 1. I should pick it up, but I'm going to read it. And I was entertained. It wasn't like dang, right? But it was fun.
This wasn't Something is Killing the Children or Grimm level on the first issue.
No.
But it also wasn't like some of the other Boom books that we did the number 1 on, and it just faded away.
Right.
I'd say it was a stronger start than most. or not most, but stronger start than top half. Let's call it top half. How about that?
Okay, yeah. How about that? I think, I think you nailed it right on the head. It was good enough that it intrigues me to get an issue 2 to see if we're going to continue to read. There was definitely a unexpected twist, and it wasn't the twist that we found out in the solicitations. It was one of the ghost stories that we read or heard about that got me going like, ooh, gross, but cool at the same time. So I get a little vibe of like almost an anthology, if you will, book here that we may continue to return to as the book progresses, right?
Yeah, I think that is kind of like what the point's supposed to be. Is it's like there is a very small, detailed, linear story that's full, like soliciting a anthological story, like one issue, and then we'll get maybe 1 or 2 pages of the overall story.
Yeah, and there were oh shit moments in the book, and I thought that was really fun. Anyway, I thought it was good. Joe, oh boy, I bought this without checking the creative team. I wouldn't have bought it if I saw Bun was attached. He's my spurrier.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I mean, it read fine. I think you would definitely hear me say, like, if this comic did not flow and it didn't have structure, I'd be saying it. But never once was I like, I'm getting lost here. Like it flowed well. The artwork helped it a lot. And I'm not even talking about the beginning of the book. It was the splash page with the accident that really, like, I was like, whoa, right? And then when we got into when we actually got into the, supernatural of it, got pretty crazy. Now, I will say it was a bit predictable before we got to the car accident, right? But then when we got into one of the ghost stories, I was like totally thrown off, completely surprised, and 100% shocked. So that to me has a quality of a good book. It was almost the pick of the week, right? If Al Ewing hadn't done what he had done, this probably would have been my pick of the week.
Interesting. No. That's very surprising for you. That doesn't do ghost story. But
I know
you like silver coins, so this kind of hit a silver coin feel.
Right, which we've been missing for a little bit because the dude had a baby. So
yeah, I'll definitely be picking up the next
issue 2. Yeah, for sure.
John, we can move on, but
no, go ahead.
I'm curious, John, what it is about Colin Bunn that doesn't do it for you. He's someone who's very, very, very prominent and highly regarded in like the horror aspect of comics. Right. Someone whose name I see everywhere, but I haven't read a ton of his stuff, so I don't know it that well. So I'm curious, what are some things of his that you like?
While we wait for John's rebuttal, let's just say this. Okay. Outside of the Emery backstory, which I thought was really good and got me pulling at the heartstrings, I felt like this issue was lazy. And the reason why I feel like it's lazy is because we're doing the same old light versus dark, and this conflict has been happening since the beginning of time. And I'm like, okay, cool, right?
All
like,
right.
So that part of this book, and I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to, but there's heavily is that concept in this issue. And the pacing to get to the understanding of that idea happens in a snap, and I think it just felt very rushed and lazy. And I'm holding this book to a high standard because this book started off crazy high and good, and then it's had its ups and its downs, and now it's back to its ups. And right now, I feel like we're kind of starting to flatline a little bit, outside of the character building that was Emery and the ending, because Blacktop Bill, no matter what, every time he shows up, you're just like, God damn, this motherfucker just won't die.
Right.
And to see him show up and half of his face is blown off is still pretty dang cool. But overall, the for me personally, the explanation of what these forces are just feels like an overused trope. It just feels dated, and it just felt lazy. It just like, oh, and that's what we're doing. Like, now, don't get me wrong. A giant octopus looking eyeball looking over the world. Yo, that's fucking scary. And that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, this is the same storyline that's running through Kingdom Hearts and any other Final Fantasy game that you could play, where it's the dark versus the light, and the light being weaker, and so it's gotta, I don't know. It just felt lazy to me. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I felt.
Okay, let me go ahead and correct you real quick.
Okay.
So I felt very, 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 very much the opposite. I thought that Snyder took what is, like you said, a tired trope, light versus dark, right? Like that's at its essence, it's one of the most basic
Right.
tropes ever. And what he did was he painted it as this picture of a universe that cleanses itself. And I thought that was really interesting because he basically says there's not anything inherently wrong or evil or disgusting about this. This is what the universe does. Like, things live and things die. And when it's time for them to die, the way the universe cleanses itself is through the what do they call it? The Nox?
The Nox. Yes, because the other one
is Lux.
Lux, yeah.
And that's essentially the way that the universe sends a wave of purge, because the universe is constantly growing, right? And it can't just go forever. And
Yeah.
It's almost like this is the way the universe is purging and resetting. So we go through with the Nox and then the Lux, and then we're boom back, and it's just a cyclical thing. I thought it was very interesting when they were doing that whole 3 or 4 page spiel, where we got like the actual super meta humans talking, and we got this cool little picture of the supernova in the beginning of time. I was like, yep, this is, I love this.
Yeah. And
so it hit me very differently.
I think I'd probably be saying the opposite if it had been drawn out, and I probably would have been like, oh, it just took long to understand and explain. So I really can't win. But I don't know. It felt incredibly rushed, in my opinion. I think what you're saying is true, and I think that's cool, but it just feels overdone, and it feels like a Netflix show where you start it and it's like, oh fuck, this is crazy. No one's ever done this before. And then when you get to the end, it's like, and that's the ending. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like, oh, like every other Netflix show that you're hot on at the beginning, and at the end, it's like, oh, just kidding. It wasn't an inside job. JFK died really because of Lee Harvey Oswald. Like, oh, you know what I mean?
I will say too that you already hinted on that, like the backstory that we got of Emery's backstory is really good. So he for sure finds his mother, and she tells him a story about how essentially that she was carjacked with him in the car, and they just set him on the side of the road, and she couldn't find him essentially. And it seemed like everything was all good, and she was having like problems with electricity or something. And he was like, the next time I come over, I'll help you fix it. And of course he shows up and she's gone. She's not
gone
there at all. She's
gone.
all her stuff's gone. She's gone. And I will say that the reason why we had such a big dip in Arc 2 of what was missing was the backstory, the pre-darkness backstories is really, even though it's small snippets, it's what drives the heart of this book. And it was so good in the first 5 issues, and it's been so good now in this third arc. And that's why Arc 2 sort of like dipped off, because we weren't really getting any of it, because the person who was narrating the story had been alive only in the dark. So she couldn't tell us this story of the book. And so I think Noctera is doing back to, I think it's back on its level to me. But
yeah. Well, this is why there's two people on the show, and one
plus
could be
Tony
right.
Daniel, I've not. He is a guy who's, I know, has done really big books before, but I haven't read those yet.
Right.
And so I'm going to be seeking out his other work, because I love it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump over to our last book of the night, and that is Phantom Road, issue number 3 from Jeff Lemire. This book continues to get weirder and weirder. I really do think we're getting into a stand situation. Just kind of that style of this devil's running the show, Black Flag, if you will, behind the scenes, and no one really knows what the hell's going on. And by the end of it, nobody really will know what the hell's going on, but weird shit happens. And that's what we're doing with this issue. And we get introduced to a new character, and apparently she's connected to it somehow. She's been to this Elseworld that our other two characters have been to, but when she was much younger. So she's starting to reconnect the dots. She's an FBI agent who's following the tracks with these other two characters and then potentially killing somebody. It just got weird. And to say that there wasn't I don't want to say a lot of action, but it was just this was a big setup issue, right? We were setting up a completely different character. And I can see how that might be a turnoff for some people, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is the last book I read, obviously, and I had fun with it. It kept me intrigued. The only issue I could say about this book is that there wasn't enough, and obviously that's on purpose, right? We want to keep on.
That's what we've said for all 3 issues now, right? Both of them,
right?
I felt that way.
It's just been breadcrumbs, and so I gotta feel like by issue 5, which will potentially be the last issue until we get a break for 3 months or whatever. And that's just an assumption. We won't really get a big reveal until then.
Probably not. That's kind of how Lemire works anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I will say this, to me, even though it didn't have that action, I would say that this issue is every bit as good as issue 2.
Yeah.
And has fully solidified to me that I'm
picking it
up all the way. I know it's only 5 issues out there right now, or that are going to be out for the foreseeable future, but
excuse me.
I just loved the aspect of, we've got characters and they're almost unreliable and we don't know what's going on. And they don't know what's going on, and it's like, do we trust them? Do we not trust them? We don't really know what to do. And then in this issue, we're introduced to a character who has the air of what they know what's going on. It's an FBI director that shows up, who leads with confidence, who just said, like, it feels like, okay, now this, she's in charge. She's got her shit together. And then by the end of the issue, it turns out she's just as fucked as the other two. It really makes you feel like, man, I can't trust anything. I have no idea what's going on in this book. So yeah, this probably, if it hadn't been for the massive fact that I'm a huge Storm fan and I just love that she got her due, this probably would have been my pick of the week, but
right,
very, very close second.
John, I totally understand that, though. As a huge horror fan, I find this attempt at horror pretty weak, and I just think
he's talking about Colin Bunn.
Oh, I thought he was talking about this.
No,
Got it.
Not this.
No, then I understand it. But this is just a build. I think we're just slow burn, slow build.
John, I get what you're saying about him, and I haven't read a ton of his stuff. I don't think that really makes you biased. I think if you've read a book 3 separate times, you go, "Who the fuck wrote this?" and you see the same name, I would avoid the name too. So
right,
I do not blame you.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that was this week. This is episode 131 or issue 131 of the show. It felt a little fast, but I mean, we just had, that's what the kind of week we had, but that's going to do it for this issue. Next week I think we've got a banger. No, I love Phantom Road. All right, John, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I think we got a banger of a show next week. We got a really good new comic book day video coming for you for this Tuesday at 4:30. So be in tune for that, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That'll drop. So make sure to be aware. And the only way you can be aware of that is if you're subscribed to the show, you've rang that bell, and you've given this show a like. You got to get that stuff done. So we'll catch you guys next week at 4:30 for New Comic Book Day. And then we will catch you guys live again next Sunday for another great live show. We appreciate every single one of you that have watched this live and every single one of you that are watching this as a past episode. We love the fact that you're watching our show, obviously, and we can't wait for you to enjoy more of our content because it's coming. So yeah, I've said most of the spiel, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign us off. But again, Emily, what's up? First time watching live. It was great. Thanks, guys. No problem.
appreciate
Thanks
that.
thanks for taking some time out of your day to watch us live. We appreciate you being here. Did you guys pick up piece of shit?
No. Damn it! All right.
Okay,
I'm
we're gonna
making
do
a
it,
note right now.
John. We will pick it up. We'll hit it. Yeah, hit that like button. Excuse me. We'll see you guys again next Sunday live. If not, see you guys again next week as a past episode. So, we'll just sign it off, guys. Comic fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll catch you guys next week. Later. Yeah, we need it. They better get it. No, we will get it, Disciple. Don't worry. We will go get it. I promise you. Lee, if you're watching this as a
Peacemaker tries hard. Is that what we needed to get?
I think that's it.
Tell me, guys.
Let us know in the chat. Is that the book that we need to get?
Or Peacemaker disturbing the peace.
So much peace. So
So
little
much
time.
making of the peace.
So much peacemaking. So little time. Later, guys.